We just hit 11K subscribers, woo! And what better way to celebrate than with a Jojo review. Finally, Jojo is back, and with a new opening theme and ending theme. I kind of miss the sex music at the end of every episode just because it's so funny. But it's a good ending theme. I like it. It looks like we got minor spoilers in the opening theme. Well, we see like Trish's stand. And that's a first for me, because I never read the manga. For everyone else, it's like, oh yeah, there it is. But it doesn't look like they reveal Trish's stand's ability, which I guess is good, because when you see Trish's stand, her stand is just punching. But now getting into the actual episode. We start off, and everyone's taking a lunch break. Mainly because Mr. Stands need to eat. Which is kind of weird. It's like just him. Even Bruno's like, yeah, we should probably eat and get our energy up. And given that they just betrayed the boss, a lot of them are super paranoid, so we kind of have this joke scene where some guy, Narancia, apparently accidentally spilled a little bit of wine on him. He's like, you're gonna pay for this! And then everyone just gangs up on the guy and starts beating him up on the ground. Abba looks over, takes a sip, and joins them. He's an enemy! Get him! And Trish finally joins the conversation and actually gives some pretty useful advice. Here I was thinking that she didn't know anything. She knows a little bit. So she reveals that her mom told her before where she met her father, which was in Sardinia, or at least that's how they're pronouncing it in the Japanese. I don't know if it's actually pronounced that way in Italian. But after her mom and her father did their thing, he disappeared without a trace, and that's around the time where the organization started. So that basically means that all the mysteries of his past, everything about him, must have been in Sardinia before he disappeared. So now we know they're in the next location, but before that we got a stand fight! So Narancia is just playing around with his soup when he notices that an enemy stand has appeared. And this stand, I believe it's called Crush. It has the ability to teleport through liquids. And it takes the form of what looks like a shark or piranha, whatever it's supposed to be, some kind of fish that has sharp teeth and can eat you all up. It looks like it becomes smaller or bigger based on how big or how wide the liquid it's in is. But whether or not it's smaller or bigger does not seem to quite affect its power, just more so its bite range, I guess. The first attack comes from Narancia's spoonful of liquid, and it comes at him and bites off his tongue. So that's a very small piece to bite off. It's not quite equivalent to biting off your entire neck. And after, of course, having your tongue bit off, Narancia can't really communicate with everyone and tell them where it's teleporting to. So he panics, and in order to get them away from the liquid, he takes a shard of glass and kind of cuts himself more, so that they have to all come to Narancia and heal him effectively. And we do find out later that it can teleport to any kind of liquid, so theoretically it could have teleported to Narancia's blood in that moment. But I think the reason why it probably didn't is because everyone went over to Narancia, so we kind of figured, yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to attack everyone at once, you know, so I should just hold back and wait for a moment. So we do get introduced to the two villains behind this whole mess, and they're gay. Jojo is so progressive, guys. And when Narancia is finally healed up, we notice that he cannot quite control what he's saying. He keeps on trying to tell them one thing and he ends up saying the opposite, so he keeps contradicting himself as we go along. And he has to still make sure that they keep away from water, so Giorno is over here like, hey, well, if the enemy's here, we should leave. Let's take the canal. And of course, Narancia is pulling him back while screaming, that's a great idea! Let's take the canal! Obviously, taking the canal would have been the worst decision in that moment. The shark would just, like, completely swallow the entire boat. But it also looks like it has some control of his movement, too. He tries to, like, point, like, the stand's over there, and then His arm just flings the other way into the bathroom. So it doesn't have complete control of his body, but it has some control, it seems like. It might take a little bit extra to like try to move the rest of his body like that. So this stand, I believe, is called Talking Tongue or something like that, because you know how the subs are. They don't actually like reveal what the stand's name is, I don't think, in this episode, but the name of the next episode is like revealing the name. So the first attack from Crush, from what I understand, planted the other stand, which has control of his communication. And it also looks like it can like extend his tongue outward, so it can like grab stuff and kind of fiddle with what Narancia is doing. He tries to go in the bathroom to stop them, because Moody Blues is trying to find the enemy and replay the last person who was in the bathroom. So Narancia runs over to try to wipe all the water clean, and then the tongue just comes out, turns on the faucet, and undoes what he just did. But Narancia is a smart guy. He's able to get those guys out by pissing everywhere. But as they're leaving the bathroom, the tongue takes out his knife and just cuts his fingers a little bit. And Giorno, he's very intuitive. He turns around and he thinks, you know, maybe he caught himself on something. But he starts kind of speculating to Narancia, there's something in your mouth, right? It's got to be an enemy stand that's causing you to say the opposite of what you need. Narancia is very thankful. He's like, yeah, that's it. Giorno is coming forward to him with the intention of healing his hands, and he knows that the stand can travel through any type of liquid, meaning blood as well. So he thinks fast, and he uses Little Bomber to shoot at a pipe so that the pipe is super hot, and he sears his wound shut with that. And unfortunately, that might not have been the best decision at the time, because what he ends up doing is water leaks from the pipe and it gets all over the bathroom floor. And right when Giorno has figured it out, he figured out like the tongue stand, but he didn't figure out the water stand. He doesn't really understand why Narancia is trying to keep him away from water. So out comes Crush and just gets Giorno right in the neck. To be continued. I'm not really quite sure how Narancia is supposed to get this stand out of his mouth. It seems like it's attached somehow, but when he opened up his mouth and showed Mista it, Mista couldn't really see anything that was wrong with his mouth. So I don't know how he's supposed to get it out. Is it inside his tongue? Does he just need to like and shoot it? But of course, as long as everyone knows that Narancia is saying the opposite of what he actually means, all people need to do is do the exact opposite of what he's saying. But the problem is they have to know that. So Giorno was able to figure it out, but as soon as he figured it out, he got bit by the neck. Now, I'm sure Giorno is fine. He's a smart guy. He can handle getting bit by the neck. I'm just not sure if everyone else is going to come back in and join in on the fight. Or is it going to be a duo fight with Narancia and Giorno against these two stands? 2 against 2? Or are we just going to have everyone come in and just beat the shit out of them? Because as long as Giorno can relay to everyone, hey, do the exact opposite of what Narancia says to do, we should be fine. It's a good team effort by the villains, though. It's nice when you get 2 villains that like work as a team and they're pretty well balanced in that way. I also appreciate how quick they are. As soon as Narancia said there's an enemy stand nearby, they were like, alright, get Trish and the turtle, you cover the left, you cover the right, you know, it's good teamwork, guys. You're getting the hang of it. I don't know why I keep snapping. But that is all I have to review for today. That's the entire episode in a nutshell. We will get back to this next week. Tell me what you guys think of the episode down below. Don't spoil anything. Leave a like and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Program restart.